Hello, and welcome to another edition of our NAWBO LinkedIn Member Love Live and our podcast, the Texas Women Mean Business podcast. We are joined today by Tiffanie Clausewitz. Hello, Miss Tiffanie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning?
Oh, so good. So good. I'm so excited that we're chatting. We've been planning this for quite some time, so it's
Yeah.
long overdue. And I am thrilled that our team is or our audience is going to get to hear and learn more about you as well. So for those who have not had the pleasure of meeting you yet, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tiffanie. So I've been a member of NAWBO since 2019 when I opened my own law firm. We have a business law firm that provides corporate legal services and litigation services for small to mid-sized businesses. Most of them are here in San Antonio, but they're in the surrounding area as well and throughout the state of Texas. I've been a lawyer for, oh gosh, almost 20 years, owned my own business for 6 years and really enjoy what I do. So
Yeah.
that's me.
And we always talk about on the board that you are hair goals. You have the most
Oh
epic.
my God.
You have the most epic things. I'm paling in comparison right now.
No,
Try to
no.
get all of
Thank
your hair
you.
product recommendations. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Good hairstylist and good jeans. I can't take any credit for it.
you're incredibly accomplished, and the first thing I talk to you about is your hair. So
I love it.
that
It's
is not
fantastic.
doing your justice at all. But
Yeah.
what was the moment? Were you that kid that everybody kept telling, like, you should be a lawyer, you should be a lawyer, or was that something you came to later?
No, absolutely not. I was one of those kids. I grew up in Alice, Texas, and oldest of four, and so received a scholarship to go to Texas A&M University. And I actually started as an engineering major. Mind you, I had no idea what engineers did. It was just that in applying for scholarships, my mom had identified that there was a lack of women in that profession. So there might be some more scholarship money if I went as an engineering major. So I was like, oh, sure, whatever. So I went and I was at A&M and I jumped around quite a bit. By the end, I was calling my parents saying, hey, I really just want to go get a music degree somewhere. And I remember vividly them saying, you have 1 year left of scholarship, so pick a degree and get it. And in that day and age, you could take 1,000,000 hours. Now they kind of limit you a little bit, but
Yeah.
I ended up with an English degree from A&M. So while I was there, I thought about it. I thought about law school a little bit, but quite honestly, I went to a meeting of a pre-law society, and I didn't really like the kids there. I thought they were, the students, I felt like they all had, attitudes and weren't people I really wanted to be around. I look back now and I had no self-confidence at the time. And so I think that might have been part of it. And it just wasn't, it was a good thing that I decided at that point not to go to law school. So, I ended up working for almost 10 years and got my master's. And at the end of that, my husband said, you mentioned you had wanted to go to law school. If you wanted to go, this was the time. And I was like, well, that sounds good. so I did. And I'm really glad it worked. I'm really glad it worked out that I liked it, is what I guess I should say. Because it's not a fun career to be in if you don't like it. It's hard. So you got to like it.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I love it. You're like, I'm not a regular lawyer. I'm a cool lawyer.
No, try.
All of those pre-law students are looking back and saying,
yeah, they're like, who was that little girl?
So do you feel like in terms of law, the area that you guys practice in, tell us a little bit more about kind of your guys' specific area of expertise?
Yeah. So we try to serve kind of like general counsel. If you hear about big businesses, big corporations, they'll have in-house counsel or maybe several, depending on how big your company is, that provide all of the legal services and legal advice that a business needs. And a lot of times with those general counsel, they're kind of like the jack of all trades for the business, but then they refer out, if there's a lawsuit, they might refer out to a litigator, or if there's something specific, they go to the specialist. And so we try to do that for small to mid-sized businesses. Obviously, our clients are not in the position that they want or need to have an attorney on staff, or as an employee full time. But we are their trusted partner when it comes to legal services, so they can call us up with any questions they have. Generally, we're going to be able to take care of them ourselves. If it's something super specific, we have trusted partners. Like, for instance, I always say, keep me as far away from tax as possibly can. So when my clients have issues with tax, I have a great tax attorney that I refer them to.
Yeah.
If they feel like they have more in-depth intellectual property issues, we're going to send you to an IP attorney. They are specially barred to do what they do. So that's kind of how we operate. And the good thing is with our firm, I feel like we serve both the corporate transactional side. So what does that mean? It means everything from I want to start a business. How do I get formed in Texas? What are the different types of entities and what's going to provide me the best protection? So we counsel through that. We help entities get set up. We help them put together their corporate documents that are so fundamental to operating a business. And then we're there for the long haul. We help draft and negotiate contracts. We provide labor and employment services. So when it comes to, you need a handbook, you need policies, you need to put together an employment agreement and understand what that really means in Texas. When we are an at-will state, what does an employment contract really mean? We counsel on any HR issues that come up. So that's in the labor and employment area. And then, anything commercial real estate work, just kind of all of that legal stuff, right? That businesses get involved in. And then if you get in trouble, and are sued or need to sue somebody, we also have a litigation department of litigation attorneys. So we can also kind of jump in. We don't have to hand off to a litigator at a different firm. We can handle that as well. So we try to be full service as much as we can be to our clients.
Yeah. So in terms of businesses, is there a particular industry that you guys like to work in? Do you prefer does it matter when you're general counsel what type of industry you're working in, or does it all kind of apply the same across just because you're
It mostly applies across the board. We don't specialize in any specific type of industry. They are all over the place. Everything from wealth advisors and doctors and accountants to general contractors, to construction companies, to IT companies, to pet groomers. It's across the board, and I love it. And what's great about that is we learn so much from our clients and about what drives them and their businesses. There are some specialized areas, I would say some businesses, very few, but they might need a specific attorney, and that's going to be really highly regulated fields. There might be an advantage to having a attorney who has a niche in that area. But usually when it comes to small and mid-sized businesses, as all business owners know, we're all encountering the same issues. And I think that's one thing I figured out when I had been doing business litigation for over 10 years and, doing it just fine. But when I opened the firm and became a business owner myself, I was like, oh, this gives context to everything I've been doing until now. Because
I hire myself as
exactly. Right. I mean, and again, not that I'm not in any way saying that an attorney has to be a business owner to be able to serve businesses. That's not true at all. But just seriously, that jumping in and figuring out like, this is what business owners are facing every day. And I think that, I truly believe and know from talking to my clients that there's an advantage there when you have counsel that understands what it's like to own a business, because when we're giving advice, we're not giving advice just based on the law. I'm looking holistically at, okay, so you may have a legal claim against somebody and it may be fantastic, but let's talk about what pursuing this legal claim does to your business for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years, right? So even if you are completely in the right and chances are great at success at the end of the day, what's this going to do to your financial resources? What's this going to do to your time resources? What is this going to do to the culture and environment for your employees at work? And so we're able to really kind of holistically look at all of it so that it's not just about, do I have a legal claim or not? It's, do I want to pursue it? And what's the best way to resolve it?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned, financial impact too. And I feel like that has to play into your psyche as well when you're working
Absolutely.
with clients that, you're the one paying the invoices for your own business and you're seeing
Right.
money go in and out. So I would imagine,
Right.
I would think from knowing you that, that reputation of lawyers that, oh, billing's starting the clock. We're ready to
Right.
start billing you, immediately that
Right.
you might have a little bit more empathy towards like, look, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to just run up a nice high bill.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that's, I laugh because I always talk about the fact, and if anybody's, ever heard me speak at anything, it inevitably comes up that, principal is expensive. It's really expensive. And what I mean by that is not that people should not have principal, but when I have a client that comes to me and says it's the principle of the matter, and, and I'll say, well, in 6 months, when you're done, when you're still paying my bills, we'll see how you feel about the principal, right? Because it's expensive. And so it's just super, yeah, it's super important to me. Again, understanding, like you just said, the expense and the financial resources that go with this.
Yeah.
It's important for me to make sure I'm very aware of that with my clients, and I'm very upfront with them. I'm always saying, well, we can do this strategically, or we can do this. It might be more cost efficient. It may not be, but again, it depends on what their goals are. And
Right.
I think another thing that helps is, a lot of business owners, it's so it's so expensive, and especially when you're setting up, right? You're just like the budget and figuring out how you're going to pay for everything and what it's going to be. And sometimes the last thing people want to do is bring an attorney in. Like, why would I want to pay an attorney? I can go to legalzoom.com, and now it's like, let me go to ChatGPT and
Yeah.
see if I can figure it out myself.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the hurdles that I have to address with clients up front, is explaining to them why it may be a little bit more of a financial outlay at the beginning,
Mhm.
but trust me, at the end of the day, it's going to be much more expensive if you skimp on that area and just kind of make decisions and hope for the best,
Yeah.
and then end up in trouble, right? So it's kind of trying to build that relationship of trust so that the clients understand we are not here just to run up the clock. We are here to provide the best guidance we can, and help our clients make sure that they're protected, but it also taking those measures that they need to
Yeah.
take care of their businesses.
Yeah. What would you say is, maybe some of the most common missteps that you see when people are just starting out with their business that maybe they, skim over, they don't even think about it. They wait 5, 10 years and then they realize,
Mhm.
oh no, I should have done X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
What are those?
Yeah. The most common with smaller businesses especially is feeling like, hey, I'm starting a business with my friend, I'm starting a business with my family member, what have you. I don't really need to worry about talking to an attorney about what's the best structure for me to have. I don't really need to worry about a company agreement. We get along great. We know how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to be together forever. It's fine, right? And so that's the I you know inevitably, not inevitably, it's not inevitable, but so many people come to us and, hey, I started this business with my best friend 2 years ago, and we can't agree about this, and everything's falling apart. Okay, well, how are you set up? Well, we're 50-50. Okay, 50-50 is never great. I mean, we can do it, but it's not ideal. Okay, we're 50-50. Okay, do you have a company agreement? No, we don't. Okay, do you have, so y'all have never talked about, if things don't go well, who's the tiebreaker, who gets to make certain decisions? No, we haven't. Or worse, I want out of this. Do you have a company agreement that tells you, because you can't just get out, right? I mean, when you own a business, you own a business.
Yeah.
And so you can't just walk away. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the main thing I really encourage clients that are coming to us, is really think about it. I know right now everything feels like this is just fantastic and we're always going to agree on everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that I hope so. But let's go ahead and set up the parameters that will make you feel better too, of what if we get into a disagreement, this is the path we're going down, right? And so it helps to frame conversations and decision making between partners that aren't in agreement. It also helps deter behavior that might lead to triggering a provision in a company agreement that could force somebody out. There's a lot we can do, but if
Yeah.
you don't have an agreement, you're kind of stuck. So
Yeah.
that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I mean, I feel like that's why people are oftentimes so hesitant to bring on a partner, bring on, somebody
Right.
in their business, because it just can go so sideways. And you actually have a partner in your law firm as well, correct?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I
So,
do.
and two women owned female law firm, correct?
She's a partner, but she's not an equity partner. So
Got
I am the only owner of the firm, but she is a partner definitely in the administration and management of the
it.
company. Yeah.
Fabulous, fabulous. So, do you find that is fairly unique in the legal landscape to have, two female-run law firm
It
and
is.
running that
It
way?
is. Absolutely. It's unique in the landscape, and it's also particularly unique in business law. There's just not that many. Certainly, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, women-owned business law firms, and there aren't many at all.
Mhm.
And so that's unique. It's unique enough being women, law firm managers, owners, but even more so in the business law space. So
Yeah.
I think that's also something that makes us a little, well, it does make us unique, but it also helps our clients, particularly our clients that are women-owned businesses.
Mhm. Fabulous. And it's kind of wonderful too. You mentioned, referral partners and people that you can, send your clients to. And even within NAWBO, we have, several lawyers with Trisha Padilla. We have Kelly.
Yeah.
We have Heather Tesmer. We have, several women who are in different areas of the law as well. How has NAWBO kind of come alongside you? Because I think most people think of a lawyer being extremely, overworked. I can't get away from the office. There's no
True.
way. How do
Yeah.
you find, or why do you, make the effort and the find the time to be such an active participant in NAWBO?
Yeah, I think it's just when I joined NAWBO, it was right when opened the firm. And again, law school doesn't teach you to run a firm. They don't teach you anything about the business ownership aspect of it. And so I was looking for that community of women in this case, right, who were going through the same thing I was going through. And I figured out as I has been for me a history of getting involved in women's organizations that those relationships just become critical to
Mm,
support during this journey of being a business owner. And that's what keeps bringing me back.
mm,
Again, it doesn't matter what industry the members are in. We are all over the board. Yes, there are several attorneys, but there's so many more industries that are represented. And so the opportunity to come together and discuss what our likenesses are, right? All of the issues that I can own a law firm and you can own an ice cream shop and you can own an accounting firm and all over the board. But at the end of the day, we're looking at the same financials. We're looking at the same growth plans. We're having the same issues with our employees and staff, and also just we have that very common thread of the what it means to be a business owner, right? Everything that comes with that. And so that has just been NAWBO has been an amazing part of that journey. And so whenever I receive benefits like that, I like to give back. And so that's what brought me to being on the board. It also helped that the board president at the time asked me if I wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. I love you guys. I want to be part of the cool club. So yeah.
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 Well, and your governance chair position is so important, and I think that a lot of times that's a really hard role to fill on a lot of boards. Everybody
Mhm,
everybody
mhm.
knows what the secretary entails, and that there's roles where you can kind of guess like, oh, okay, I can do it, but it won't be too terrible of a lift. But I love that NAWBO has that governance role to really help us make sure, how are the bylaws? Are we making sure to follow those, to the letter?
Right.
Particularly as we've become, a couple hundred members strong.
Right. Right.
Inevitably, you're going to have some of those complex issues come up where, similar to a business partnership, have we talked about this before? Have we made our,
Exactly.
plan for how
Yeah.
to handle these things? So
Yeah.
you do such a beautiful job of helping us navigate any of those, kind of questions or concerns that come up.
Thank
Um,
you.
What would you say too? I know you've also signed on as a corporate partner fairly recently with
Mhm.
NAWBO. So obviously very, very grateful for your support in that area as well. What would you say maybe to, even, just saying maybe some of your clients who might want to be a corporate NAWBO. But what would you say to maybe a small to medium sized business who's looking at NAWBO from the outside looking in and saying like, gosh, I mean, I get asked to be a corporate partner of all the different things. Why NAWBO? Why would it be something that you would recommend if you would recommend?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I just think it's so important to amplify the voices of women business owners in our community.
Mm,
The women hold the wealth. That's been proven. But as business owners, we're right there in numbers wise, but making our voices heard is still something that is a challenge, and it helps when we come together to address these challenges and come together to strategize about the best ways to get things done
mhm,
that are a benefit to not just women, but to our communities in general. And so I think that's one of the very powerful things about NAWBO is the like-mindedness of the members who come from all over the place geographically and from service areas and what have you. But at the end of the day, we're really there to lift each other up and make sure that our voices are heard
yeah,
and that we are all helping each other become the best business owners that we can be. And so,
mm,
you can't get much better than that when it comes to a corporate partnership
mm,
opportunity. When I believe in the purpose of the group, and because of that, I want to put the company dollars behind it as well.
yeah, yeah. And I think too, so many, large corporations have their, silos that we only give to children's charities. We only give
Right,
to animal, like they have kind of their thing. And I think the wonderful thing with NAWBO and the advocacy component is we know, to your point, women hold the wealth and they also uplift their communities when they have
right,
wealth. Like the
right.
economic empowerment for women leads to better outcomes for the whole community. So in a way, I wish we could even have that, kind of nuanced conversation with more corporate
Yeah,
that
yeah,
this really is giving back to San Antonio in a beautiful way. Like I know so many of our members who do massive amounts of giving with their businesses. Um,
right.
and if they're doing better, San Antonio is doing better as well. So thank you, really, truly
Absolutely.
that you do for our chapter, both in
It's a
the board
pleasure.
and corporate partners. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
how can people get in touch with you if they're wanting to learn more about what it is to have a general counsel, or if they've got some legal
Yeah.
questions? What's the best way to reach out?
We're online, obviously with our website, Clausewitz Reyes. So that's Clausewitz, as you see my name there, Reyes, REYES.com. And so you can find us on our website. We're on, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Haven't gone so far to the TikTok, though. You might get me there one day, Akila, when you show me how to make an attractive video. Maybe I'll get there. So yeah, so just reach out to us that way, or give us a call. We do have some resources on our website as far as blog articles and what have you. But I just recommend that, anybody who's interested in finding out what could a law firm do for them, whether they think they need it right now or not. But if you haven't had one, I guarantee you at some point as a business owner, you will need an attorney. And so better to be looking into that while it's not an instant need, right? There's not a crisis, than
Mhm.
waiting for that crisis to occur. And so we're always happy to set up a consult with anybody out there that needs us and wants to learn more.
Fabulous. And I would love for you to also make sure that our listeners or viewers understand too, you mentioned kind of the setup of the business as a place where you
Yeah,
step in, and then there's that general counsel.
yeah.
Is there a certain stage where a business really does need to have that general counsel kind of on retainer constantly? Or are you guys able to kind of meet them where they are as far as, hey, we'll pop in for this quick project and then we can pop out?
Yeah. Yeah. We do both. It's really whatever is the most convenient to our clients, right? I mean, I think you need an attorney from day one.
Mhm.
And whether or not you keep us on retainer or not, it's just whatever works best, for the client. Sometimes they come in and we help them get set up and what have you, and then we close out the file. And then a year or two later, okay, we're back. We have these things we want to work on, and that's absolutely fine. We have clients that like to just keep us on retainers so that if they have a quick call, a quick question, and that they can set up a conference pretty quickly and get set up to talk to us. So it's just kind of whatever meets the needs and the resources of the clients at that moment.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah.
What would you say, looking back at, Tiffanie, however many years ago before starting the business, what would you say to her now, looking back, if you could give her one piece of advice?
I think it would be, I knew it was going to be challenging, but to recognize it's going to be challenging, but there's nothing that can't be overcome when you have the right tribe and network of people around you, right? That there's just about any challenge, if you've built the right network of people around you to ask questions and support you, you're going to be fine. Because that's certainly been what I've discovered over the past 6 years, is that anytime I get overwhelmed, if I can just stop and breathe and reach out to some of my, either friends, either other attorneys or other business owner friends through NAWBO or whatever, and brainstorm the issue, anything that seems huge isn't nearly as big or undaunting once it's shared with other people. And so that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is figure outable, right? Like
Exactly.
I forget who
Exactly.
that quote is attributed to, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I always do the Glennon Doyle too. Like, we can do hard things. I feel
We
like
can do hard things, man. I had that as my wallpaper on my screen for probably a good year when I started the firm, because it's important, like you're going to get to the other side of it. Just go. So,
yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
I think, you need that benefit. You mentioned, 6 years. That 6 years, I can think back through my first year, 6 years in business. And
yeah.
that is when you start to kind of feel like, okay,
I might be all right.
I think I can do
I might
this.
be all right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna
Having less of the thoughts every day of like, oh my God, is this possible? Now I'm like, oh, all right, I'm doing okay. Certainly still a lot to learn and a
yeah.
lot to do, a lot to grow. But I mean, honestly, that's another one of those places where NAWBO is just so important, because the organization provides those resources and information, education to keep growing and keep learning, and then the opportunity to meet so many cool people. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it has been such a pleasure, Tiffanie. Thank you so much for joining
thank
us.
you. Thank
Uh,
you.
So definitely reach out to Tiffanie if you guys have any legal questions, and if you want to support a NAWBO corporate partner as well. If you're curious about NAWBO, you can scan the QR code up above, or you can go to nowbosa.org. We've got our monthly meeting coming up next week. We've got all kinds of fun stuff coming up in March. We have our gala, and then in May, we have our summit. It's a very, very busy time of year for NAWBO, as you know, Tiffanie.
Yep.
We would love to see you and a guest there, see anybody that you think should be a part of the NAWBO community if you are tuning in and want to find out what it's all about. So thank you so much.